What's good, YouTube? In today's video, I'm doing another tier list video for Warzone. I did a video on this a while back, and I wanted to run it back with an updated Season 6 tier list because it is the last season for the Modern Warfare Warzone. I'm going to probably do another one when Cold War drops Warzone, but I wanted to get one last one for this Warzone with Season 6. Like I said, I did one a while back. I don't want a super long intro, though, so real quick, if you're new and you enjoy my content, hit the big red subscribe button and also hit that bell to be notified when I upload. Also, follow my Twitter and Instagram. They're popping up. Without further ado, let's hop into the tier list. All right, so like I said, I'm running back into the tier list. I uploaded a video on this a while back, so I wanted to do another updated one for the last season with Modern Warfare. I just want to hop right into it. I don't want this video to be super long, but you guys enjoyed the last one, so like I said, run it back. The first one, I'm not going to do the special variants on the tier list because it has like certain attachments with everything. I'm going to just do the base gun and just assume I'm talking about the attachments as well. So I have the 357 Magnum. The snake shots were nerfed a long time ago. It's just not the same that it used to be. I would definitely not run these anymore. I'm gonna honestly, like, it's really bad now. It's a D tier. Definitely don't be running those in Warzone. And as you guys know, I uploaded a lot of snake shot videos. I loved those things. They used to be a one shot. Used to be my favorite gun. Used to be super toxic with them, but definitely not nearly as good anymore. The Deagles, they're not viable in Warzone. I don't understand. I mean, they're not too bad. Actually, if you have like a really loaded out one, you can like bop bop. Headshot. But it's going in D tier right with the 357. It's pretty good, but definitely not like the main gun you're gonna run. 725. As you guys know, the slug rounds just got buffed, and this thing could be a sniper. So just for the slug rounds, I am gonna bump it up to a C or B. I think I'm gonna go C though, because not too many people are gonna be running the slug rounds. But overall, it is pretty solid. It's kind of elite if you are good with the slug rounds. I've personally not tried them yet, but I've seen a ton of wild clips. And also, as you guys know, back when Warzone wasn't even a thing, the 725 was absolutely insane in multiplayer. It was nerfed from that, but with the slug rounds now in Warzone, it's a one shot, so definitely insane. For the next one, if you can control the recoil, it does pretty good damage. It's pretty solid. I'm gonna put this one in the B tier. It's the AK-47. It's kind of elite. It's just not a mainstream meta gun. It doesn't have a big mag size. Actually, I don't even know how big the mag size is, but either way, if you can control the recoil, it's kind of elite. Definitely give the gun a try. I think I have a few videos on it back in the early days of Warzone, so if you want to like get a cool class setup for that, you can run it back with one of those. Next up, I have my current favorite gun in the entire game. It's definitely S tier. The CR56 AMAX. I'm telling you, it is the meta of Warzone. A lot of casuals aren't going to run it because it does have a lot of recoil, especially on console. But like I said, the time to kill, the damage, everything about it, it's just elite. If you can control the recoil, it is the best gun in the game. It's that simple. In my opinion, it beats out the Kilo. So if you haven't already watched my videos on that gun, you have to give that gun a try. Give my class setup a try. Try to get that recoil pattern down and use the gun. I'm telling you, it is the best in the game. Next up, the AUG 556 is actually a pretty solid SMG that you can build like an AR. I'm actually gonna put this in B tier next to the AK. It does a ton of damage up close. 2 or 3 days ago, I picked it up on stream, and it bodied someone. Like, I'm telling you, like less than 5 bullets. I just destroyed someone, broke their armor, full dead. It's actually really good. I was thinking about uploading a video on it soon, so I might not. Keep an eye out for that. But either way, this gun right here is elite. I actually really slept on, in my opinion. AX50, it is probably my 3rd or 4th favorite sniper in the game. It's kind of doodle butter. I don't personally enjoy it that much, especially with the SPR208, the Car 98, the HDR, all that stuff. I think I'd put all those above it. I know a lot of people love it though. I want to put a B tier, and then I'll put the other ones in their respected spots. But this one right here, it's like a aggressive rushing around sniper, like a marksman rifle, but it's pretty good. It has weird bullet drop, weird lead. It's just, in my opinion, not my favorite, but overall it is pretty solid in Warzone. Next up is the Bruin MK9. As you guys know, this gun used to be the best gun in the game, the best gun the game's ever seen. Is absolutely elite. It did get nerfed, but there is a few attachments just to make it right back as good. So honestly, I am gonna put it A tier because like I know a lot of people don't run it anymore, especially like the big streamers. Nick Merckx loved the gun. Everybody ran it. Nobody really does anymore because we run the Kilo and AMAX, but Bruin is still as good with like 2 attached. So it's going to A tier because it's still melted. And if you put on like a commando with a 200 mag and attack laser, it's a beam still. So I could do an updated video on that soon, so keep an eye out for that as well. But the gun is still elite. You can still run it as one of your main guns and you'd be fine. The crossbow, I'm not even gonna talk about it. Get that out of my face, bro. Actually, Dragunov, EBR. All right, the FAL. This had a meta, like it had its own spot in the meta like a month or 2 ago, right before season 6. This thing was like a pocket 2-shot. It was insane. It did get a little nerf, but it's still like pretty elite. I don't see too many people running it anymore, but honestly, it's kind of wild still. I'm honestly gonna throw it up into A tier. Like, it's pretty solid. I won't do like a solo video just on that gun, but in one of these videos in the future, I might run it as my secondary again. It's really good still. I'm not sure exactly, like, off the top of my head what the nerf did do it, but it still does a ton of damage. You can still spray it. It's elite for sure. The FAMAS, if you guys watched my last tier list video, I hate this thing. It's not good. It's just the Finnick. This is probably one of my favorite guns to run in solos. I'm telling you, it melts people. It just absolutely just destroys people. I'm telling you, kills them in less than 5 seconds. Just for that sole purpose, I'm gonna put it in B tier because I love running it in solos. I run quite a bit of solos, and it's one of the best guns for it. I'm telling you, it's insane. Definitely give that gun a try. I also have a few videos on it, so if you want to class it up, go back to those. Use my class setup. Go crazy with it. The Grau 556, as everybody knows, I don't know like the specific seasons, but this gun was like the gun in Warzone. It's still A tier with a certain class setup. I am going to be actually uploading a video on that really soon. With a certain class setup, it has no recoil. It does the same damage. It's really good. It used to be the best gun in the game. Obviously now I wouldn't compare it to the AMAX, the Kilo. I'd probably even still use the Bruin over it, but it is really, really good. It's still one of the top guns in the game. The HDR, as I was just saying a few minutes ago, it is better than the AX50. It's an A tier sniper. It has like unlimited range. It has damage. It has everything. And it's one of my favorite guns in the game when I do choose to snipe. It's honestly pretty elite. So if you need a class up for that, I used to run it a ton with my SMG videos. So if you want to like really solid HDR class, go back to one of my older like MP5, MP7 videos. You'll find a crazy class for that. It's super good. Like I said, infinite damage, infinite range. Next up is the Holger. This actually got a buff not too long ago, and it's actually really good. I'm gonna put it in B tier. It has no recoil. It does pretty good damage. You could use a big mag size. It's kind of underrated. It's a sleeper gun for sure. I'm not gonna waste my time on like melee or RPG type guns like the Joker, like Cali sticks. I'm not. Kar 98 better than the HDR. I don't know if it's S tier. Nah, it's A tier, but it's above the HDR. You know what I'm saying? So this isn't really in any specific order, but just know it's better than the HDR. I prefer the Kar 98. It's really good. It's fast paced, especially with my playstyle. I can just quick scope someone, move on, wipe a team if I need to. Even just beam someone with my CR 56 and then finish them with a headshot with the Kar 98. Maybe I don't really run that class setup, but that's something you could do. It has good range, good damage, and like I said, good speed. It's overall pretty good. Obviously, the Kilo 141, it is right there with the AMAX. I love this gun. As you guys know, I just recently switched to PC, and PC does have, it feels like less recoil. It has the same recoil, but it feels like less recoil with the FOV. And I made the full switch to the AMAX, but when I ran PS4, the Kilo is that gun right now. It's like the Grau. These two guns right here are the best guns in the game. It's that simple. Need a class setup. I have a ton of videos on the Kilo. It's absolutely elite. The M13, it's a laser beam. It's kind of like a pea shooter. Doesn't do too much damage. I know a lot of people love the M13, but it's really like not all that. I'm gonna put it down in B tier. I know some people might be upset about that. It's some people's main gun. I don't understand how you run this over the Kilo, or even the Grau. Like I don't understand at all. But it's pretty solid. It's in that conversation with the ARs. It's not that good. M1911, like I said in my last tier list, imagine I'm talking about akimbo. So you could run up in someone's face and just bop, 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 bop. I'm running that in C tier. Same for the M19. As akimbos, these things, I'm telling you, they melt. MG34, I'm putting that C tier. It's actually pretty good. Throw a VOK and like class it up on it. It beams people. It shoots super fast. Mag size is a little low for an LMG shooting that fast, but it rips through people. Super solid. I've never done a video on it, but I'm sure there's videos out there with class setups. It's actually really, really, really good. Next up is one of my favorite all-time guns in Warzone. I'm unsure if I want to put S or A, but it's one of the top 3 ARs in the game, I promise. The M4A1, still one of the fastest killing guns in the game. If you can get the recoil pattern down, like I said, one of the best guns. I think I actually am gonna put it S tier. Like, it really does compare with the AMAX Kilo. Like, it is one of my favorite guns in the game. I always drop high kills with it. It's super good. I might drop an updated video for you guys soon on it. I love that gun, truly. Like, it's one of the best guns in the game. The M91, I don't see many people actually running this gun. I know it got a buff not too long ago with damage and all that. I'm gonna put it in C tier. It's just not that viable of a gun in Warzone compared to this and the Kilo and the M4, even the Grau and the Bruin, all that stuff. It just doesn't really compare. Next up is the MK2 carbine. If you guys watch my last tier list, I hate this gun. Like, if you're running around Warzone with it, I have no idea what you're doing. Like, it actually is like mind-boggling to me that people run this gun. I don't even know if there is people that run this gun. It's F tier. Don't run the gun. Model 680. This has Dragon's Breath, so it could be a little better. But compared to other Dragon Breath guns, it's just not that good. Definitely a D tier gun. I don't see anybody in Warzone running that. MP5 S tier. It is the best secondary or SMG you could be running in the game. I always say it's like a pocket M4, so it does a ton of damage. and with the right class setup, it has no recoil. It has good range, good damage, all that stuff. Best SMG in the game. MP7, I'm gonna put A tier because it's like the MP5 with a tiny bit less damage, faster fire rate, and more range. So I like to pair the MP7 with my sniper. So I would say that's the second best SMG in the game. So it's not quite S tier, but it's a very solid A tier. Odin. I have a lot of videos on the Odin actually. It's really good if you have a good class setup. I'm gonna actually put it B tier because if you have a class setup that controls that recoil and jump to the gun, it does a ton of damage. The only downside is it only has a 30 mag. If I had like a 50 or 60 mag, that gun would be in the meta conversation. It's super good. It shoots a little slow, but it is super heavy hitting. Like I said, ton of class setup videos on it. If you need a class setup, go back, toss one together from one of my old videos. It is super solid. The Origin 12. As you guys know, this thing was meta for a little while. It got nerfed, and I personally don't like it. I know some people on my Origin video comment saying it's still good up close, but in my opinion, it doesn't even compare to some of the shotguns now. I'm throwing that down in D tier. It's just not as good as it once was. Next up is the P90. First few days of Season 6, I was getting absolutely shredded apart by this. I don't see many people running it now. I personally haven't given it a try recently, but what I know about the P90 is it's always super solid. It has good fire rate, decent damage, and with the right class setup, you could really melt someone. I'm gonna throw in C tier. It's viable, but not that viable. Like I would rather run these guns over it. So it's for sure a good option. And like I said, no specific order in the tiers, but if I had to, this would be the best in C tier. You know what I'm saying? So pretty solid. Just not the best SMG you could be running. Next up is the PKM. I'm throwing this in the A tier. It has good mag size, speed. You don't run that fast with it, but you can aim down sight speed, time to kill. Like I said, damage, everything about it. You could set this thing up and it's one of the most elite guns in the game. I promise you. If you run this and pair it with an MP5 or pair this with like the Fire R9, I'm telling you, it's absolutely elite. It's actually kind of insane how good it is. It's really slept on. Not too many people run it. But when the Bruin was nerfed, a lot of people ran it and then quit on it because, you know, the AMAX and Kilo are so good. So it's kind of under the radar, but it's pretty good. Like I was just talking about the Fire R9. I'm not going to say the normal R9. Nobody runs the normal R9. If you run the Dragon's Breath rounds on this R9O, it is so good. It has to be S tier because it has one shot potential. I just recently uploaded a video on it. If you want to go watch that video, get the class setup, go check that out. I'm telling you, one shot potential up close, absolutely elite. Probably the one of, if not the best guns in the game right now, other than obviously AMAX and Kilo. I'm talking about secondaries. Like this is almost ruling out the MP5 with the current meta. I don't even know if they're gonna nerf it because like they're not really talking about it and not too many people run it, but it's insane. Next up is the PP Bison. Good mag size, good speed, all that stuff, but in Warzone nobody runs it, so I'm gonna have to put it in like B or C. I have to put it in C behind the P90 because I would rather run the P90 over the Bison. But honestly, it's really not that bad. Like with the mag size and all that it does, it's pretty good for what it is. It just doesn't have that damage to it. Next up is the Ram 7. If you can control this recoil, it does a ton of damage. It's one of the fastest killing guns in the entire game. And like I said, if you can control that recoil, it honestly is insane. I uploaded a video not too long ago on it. I built it like a fast-paced AR, like almost like an SMG, but with that range still. And I was just shredding people. I do have a class up that completely takes out the recoil. It's insane. It's kind of a laser beam now. I'm gonna have to put this one in B tier. It's a viable option in Warzone. If you honestly just watched Tfue drop a 40 bomb with it, so it's insane. It's insane. Next up is the Renetti. Same rule applies. I'm assuming it's Kimbo. As you guys know, when the snake shots were nerfed, the burst Renetti was kind of the meta, but that was nerfed too. But as just a single gun, it actually is pretty good. I'm gonna put in C tier with the other pistols, obviously. Assume this is a Kimbo. Up close, it's kind of elite. And now that I'm looking at this, I think I have to raise the Origin because I have a Kimbo pistols over it. And up close, the Origin does do pretty good. So the Origin is now C tier. But like I said, imagine these are a Kimbo. I would actually rather have a Kimbo pistols over all of these because up close they just shred. Maybe not the 1911. I'm actually gonna drop the 1911 to D tier, but these two are pretty good up close, and like I said, the Origin does compare up close, so let me move that. But that is my C tier. Those pistols are pretty good akimbo. The Rytech, I've actually never even ran this thing. I have no idea how good it is. I just know it doesn't compare to the other snipers. I'm gonna put it in C tier because nobody, not even the boy Pamaj runs it, so it doesn't even compare to the AX, the CAR, the HDR, all that stuff. I know it has explosive rounds and like thermite rounds, but it's just not that good in my opinion. I never get killed by it. The SA-87, I'm gonna put C tier. It does good damage, just kind of slept on. It just doesn't have that mag size. It has good mobility and good ADS speed. It just doesn't also compare to other guns in its category, like the PKM, Bruin, all that stuff. It just, even not even the Holger, it just doesn't compare. The FN, Scar, ton of damage. Only downside is that mag size is complete trash. I'm telling you, if this thing had a 50 or 60 mag, it would actually be in the meta talk, just like the Odin. So I am gonna put this in B tier because with the right class, it kind of is elite. It just needs a bigger mag size. Next up is the SKS. I'm throwing this down in either D or F. I don't see anybody running it, but it does a lot of damage, so I would put it over the crossbow, Dragunov, EBR, MK2. So it's D tier. It does good damage, and with the right class, it'll be. I mean, I guess you could spray someone and bop them real quick. Nobody's running it in Warzone. I definitely don't recommend you run it. Next up is the Striker. Honestly, one of the most slept on guns in Warzone. I dropped a few videos on this in the past. It's pretty good actually. I'm honestly gonna put it C tier. It's kind of a laser beam. It does good damage. It overall is really solid, and one of the most underrated guns, like I said, in Warzone. Obviously, don't run it comparing it to the MP7, R9, MP5. So it has no spot in the meta currently. But if you want like a little fun gun to just run around Verdansk with, run the Striker 45. Next up is the Uzi. This is one of my favorite guns in the game. I don't know why. I always run through super with it. I've uploaded a few class ups on it. It's honestly really good with the correct attachments, like the AE rounds, that one barrel. Just overall, kind of good. I'm gonna throw it up in B tier. It's kind of elite, honestly. If you guys have not given the Uzi a try, go back, watch one of my Uzi videos, give that class setup a try. Next up is the VOK Rogue. If you guys land Superstore a lot in Season 6, you guys know this thing is kind of stupid. Like, I get one-shotted by this VOK Rogue quite a bit for no reason. I haven't given Dragon's Breath a try on it, but I'm assuming it's pretty good. I'm gonna actually put it up in B or C. I think I'm gonna put it in C tier. Like I said, in Superstar, I'm just getting destroyed by it, and it's just one-shotting me for no reason. Next up is the X16. Same rule applies. Akimbo, putting it right there with the M19 and Renetti. Up close, it just bodies people. Some of the best secondaries in the game, for real. But overall, that is my full tier list. I don't think you can see the SA87 on screen, but that is the full tier list and how I rank the guns with the current meta in Warzone Season 6. Like I said, I wanted to get one more updated video out before Cold War Warzone, and I would say this is my best tier list for all the guns in the game. Let this apply to your class setups and what guns you run. Like I said, best guns in the game right here. These are absolutely elite. I like the AMAX, pair it with either the MP5 or R9. Same rule applies to the M4 and Kilo. This right here is the best 5 guns in the entire game. I hope this helps you guys. If it does, leave a like. Comment your class setups you're going to run with this. And if this did help you at all, give me feedback. Definitely hit the big red subscribe button if you guys enjoy my content. Hit the bell to never miss an upload and get notified. And like I said, this is my final tier list before Cold War.